Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is October 6, 2024. Howard, how are you handling the market volatility?
Hey buddy, I'm kind of enjoying it. I mean, it is sentiment.
You buying the dips?
There's just we've been sharing a lot of idea. I mean, I got a ton of new there's just really good breadth, and headlines continue to get to be terrible. But the market is acting as like doesn't matter who's president, and it's acting like there's no war. So sounds the market's pricing in peace at some level, or is enamored with the defense sector going up, which is just this weird tax on America that you have to hedge by owning defense stocks. And degeneracy is in full bloom. So take it away.
Yeah. I mean, last week we had like a little shakeout at the beginning due to escalation in the Middle East. Oil spiked, VIX spiked. I mean, oil was up like 4 days in a row, obviously. And this led to like a short-term sell-off in the market, but it seems like the dips are getting bought. And what I mentioned last week was that ever since the Fed decided to cut interest rates or to begin a rate cutting um, cycle, actually rates have been rallying since then. I mean, you can see here, and especially on Friday, they accelerated. And typically, when we see this happening, the most interest rate sensitive sector, like solar and biotech and small caps, regional banks, they tend to underperform. And on the other side, big tech, semiconductors, they tend to outperform. And this is exactly what we continue to see with stocks like Nvidia and AMD, like all of the AI leaders. Um,
Yeah, AMD
they're
is working up the right side of its base there.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're working on new bases, most of them, and this is bullish. I mean, they've been the leaders
Yeah,
since.
Marvell is another one. Marvell, which is just kind of hanging around all
Yeah,
time
it's
high.
definitely building a new base. It's a slow mover,
Yeah.
but the whole semiconductor sector, as you can see here, I mean, if it can close above 250 again, we might see
Yeah.
the right side of a new base potentially. I mean, it just
I mean, the thing about commodities, it's almost like it doesn't matter. It went from a cyclical business to being a infinite demand business. Cars, satellites, phones,
yeah, and it's not just the
pagers,
data centers and the semiconductors when it
yeah,
comes to AI. Now we're talking about uranium, we're talking about utilities. There are
nuclear.
AI stocks that are gapping up and following through. So
Yeah.
that whole AI theme remains extremely strong, and for the most part, dips are getting bought, and those stocks remain the leaders. Obviously, China is in its own world, like it seems to be having 5-6% gaps daily ever since 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah, I'm loving this move. I don't own enough, but I own,
If you look at it like on an hourly chart
yeah,
and if you put the 50 period moving average, it's basically
that's a
following it
country.
exactly like
That's
on an hourly. It's
country.
just
You can tell who's not selling presidency. I keep saying like didn't get hard to time when he was going to just turn on the faucets, but he wouldn't have been doing this unless he owned enough of the stock. So you look at Alibaba and you just go, listen, this company
all of
had
them. Yeah.
no, but I'm
Alibaba.
saying Alibaba is like the legit
Yeah. We have
giant. Again, I
Futu,
don't know about the security that it's structured in, but
it's
Alibaba's
Futu.
what? Alibaba's like grown 1,000% since it came public and it was down 90%. So China was in its own NASDAQ world, right? It's a fake NASDAQ world in that, you got a president for life and you just can't trust the securities. But it was down 90%. China tech is no different than American tech, right? It's a bigger market. Um, so probably made no sense. And now you have a signal. Listen, again, I don't know how to value Chinese companies, securities, and I don't trust anybody because in the end you've got Z, but he's not going to be a seller. He was been buy like the country. Someone's been buying those shares for 3, 4 years. You know what China's buying a lot of? Gold every day, other than ETFs. They're buying a lot of gold, and rest assured they're buying a lot of gold energy, oil, and gold. I'm here in Naples with my friend Lewis Johnson, who will be speaking at our Stocktoberfest, who's like my go-to, just catching up on the commodity world. And gold always, when gold leads, everything follows. Kind of like when Bitcoin leads, eventually the altcoins follow. So gold won't be the biggest winner if we're going into this commodity boom. It'll be secondary metals like silver, which are thinner and more speculative, and that looks great. Copper continues to look great. Energy was a fake out. If you look at the XLE, everybody was negative on it, and it just quickly reversed.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's going to go.
It's just a huge range for the past
Yeah,
2 years, really.
but look at the direction of the trend, right? Up.
Yeah.
So all this new volatility, I think, precedes a huge move. Defense sector, look at that AVAV that I've been talking about for months. The volatility preceded another big breakout. Well, the whole defense sector. I'll give you some new names, but you've been covering this for a few weeks. You've been trading that.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
Look at Lockheed Martin. I mean, look at this. We pay our taxes to blow up things. So our money's going to blow up things that the government rebuilds. So really, your best, theoretically, every time you pay your taxes, you should put the same amount of money in the defense sector because that's where your money's going.
Yeah. For
So
a
it's not
small
like
percentage, really.
every time you buy an Apple
It's
product, you
only
should.
1 trillion, right? I don't know how big is the budget. 16
It's
trillion.
endless, dude. It's endless. I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, but it's a shame that I didn't really understand a lot of this stuff until I started doing weekly shows with you and Trends with Friends. It's just like just going through these patterns every week just makes me nauseous that you see so many trends that have everlasting. And this defense trend is just, it's a scam. Listen, they make bombs, they drop them, they make more bombs. You pay taxes, makes more bombs. All right, so defense. What else do you got? I was going to go through some new names, but keep going
I mean,
through.
there are a lot of, I mean, for me, semiconductors are setting up for a continuation like ARM, potentially if it can go back above 150. NVIDIA is setting up for a potential test of 130, and if it can go above 130, I think 140 is the next level. AMD is setting up for a potential, I mean, it all basically broke out above 171, so I wouldn't be surprised if it tests 190 in a, if the market remains the same. And some of the like more speculative names like UPST is big breakout here, big move on big volume, then pull back to the
Yeah,
50-day, and now it's tightening up. So it's setting up for a potential breakout here again.
yeah.
But
Seem to be
for
more the short interest ones. I'm looking for new leaders. Fintech is obviously Arc Financial, which is Kathy Wood's crappy. That's kind of the. Oh, is it? No, maybe it isn't doing that. Our ARKF is her
oh, okay,
financial.
the financial, yeah, it's probably similar.
That looks pretty good. But again, you can go break down and see what's working. PayPal's working. Um, CPay, CPAY. I saw that kind of came all the way back. I don't know what it does, but I was just going through fintech. Fintech had a great quarter. Obviously, Robinhood had a great quarter.
Yeah,
Uh,
Robinhood setting up. It's a bit interesting to see if
yeah,
Bitcoin can bounce and hold its bounce. And obviously, if this happens,
I'm,
MSTR, it's built a huge base here.
that's big.
And
Yeah. So let me go through some new names too, like
okay,
Apogee, APOG,
okay.
which is I kind of had on my list. I haven't mentioned
Oh,
it here,
Windows. Okay.
but APOG, it's kind of in the architectural products and services. Uh, and a couple $1 billion, no followers, massive breakout. Look at their earnings there.
Oh, it's
So there's
basically
going to be a new leader. I mean, again, it's small cap, 2 billion. I can't believe I'm saying.
a weather insurance in a way, extreme
Yeah,
weather
just
insurance.
rebuild. It's just an infrastructure play, modern infrastructure play. So that is a new winner that's on my list. Um, Another one, obviously, it continues as MMYT, but hang on, I'm just looking for some more that were on my list.
Yeah, MMYT, the Chinese one is also been on a run, obviously. Tcom, trip.com,
Which one?
trip.com, the all-time highs
Shit. Again, yeah.
last week. Yeah,
But I'm going to go with India over China. Hang on. And we've nailed that one. Another one, Reddit. Okay, so they own their own day. I mean, I don't own Reddit, but I follow it because of stock twits. Pretty much weekly all-time closing high there, $11 billion. Um, Sam Altman SPAC, Oklo in the nuclear space, OKLO. That's getting a bid.
oh yeah,
So that's, the Sam Altman train. They got 10 billion does. So anything he touches, again, I'm not recommending it, but that thing, I wouldn't be shocked to see it run. Hang on, I'm just looking for some more here that I saw. Shopify's breaking out. I'm long that.
yeah,
SHO.
yeah.
It's kind of a weekly. It hasn't really broken
I
out, but
mean, very rich valuation, so be careful around earnings. But yeah,
oh,
it's
all of
been
these,
trending. Yeah,
all these. VRT, which is more in the data business. Man, that had a steep pullback and then right back to all-time highs, which you like to see. So keep an eye on that. That's just look at the earnings just explode there from 0 to like $3 a share in the last 4 years. Um, so there's just I don't know, and then the financials, right? Like Goldman Sachs.
yeah. The whole sector seems to be setting
Yeah.
up.
Goldman Sachs quietly got rid of their, I mean, sorry, Schwab got quietly got rid of their CEO, I think. Did a terrible job turning them into a bank. That may play catch
Yeah,
up. They have such a good business.
look at Interactive Brokers,
Right. Because they're a
unstoppable. Yeah,
software company. Schwab gets 20. So if we pull up Schwab, I'm going to talk about it next week. And I don't own the stock, but like the CEO did a terrible job turning that into a bank when they had this great simple 25 basis point annuity from outsourcing the fiduciary duties of managing money just to pick RAs. So I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye if that new CEO change does anything. That guy did a terrible job. Just just took him out of an easy business and put him in the banking business, right? And did a terrible job. So Schwab may play catch up if the financials. Trying to think of some. What FTAI? Look at this thing.
yeah, I know this one.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. Up basically
I
10
mean,
times
it did,
since
but like,
22.
look at that thing.
In 10 times in 2 years, 1,000% in 2 years.
Yeah. Meanwhile, VCs are paying 7 billion times revenue for startups. So I think
What was the
public
last
market,
stock? Yeah,
the private markets are getting all the press, continue, even though we're still in a bear market, and the public markets continue to rotate and just create 10 baggers.
exactly. Especially
Yeah.
if you compound.
Yeah.
What was the last individual stock that you bought?
Okay. Good question. I think some Baba. I'm just looking through my statement here. I added some Shopify this week. Um, I'm trying to see what I bought. Bought some Google when it was down. I'm just looking through my. Bought some Robinhood. I didn't buy much in the last month. I was buying, in that VIX 60 thing.
Hmm.
Uh, AVAV. I own some of that. And yeah, I've just been too busy. So I'm using I'm just, on the VIX 60, man, I made a few moves.
Indexing. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I use Freck, but there's just so many. I just can't keep track. But like more breakouts keep showing up, and it just
yeah.
feels
It's a bullish market. Yeah,
it's a bullish market. The the gold market seems like
you know.
no one covering it. So I think commodities are still the place. And tech just feels like
Do you own any oil?
bought some XLE when the Iran launched their missiles. So at
Okay.
around 90, I bought I think I shared it on stock. That's
Mhm.
bought some at 90. It's just a trade, but if it gets trending, I'm just going to keep it. And so I'm sitting here with I was having dinner with Lewis Johnson, who runs about 3 billion, and he thinks gold's a 10x, and he thinks over the next 10 years in this cycle, and energy's and oil is going to be over $1,000. So
$1,000 a barrel.
yeah,
Wow, we're talking about inflation here.
well, you don't know. I mean, we don't know what that means. It depends on the currencies, but like oil and especially gold's going up against every currency from Swiss franc to the yuan to the US dollar, right? And gold generally, and it's in a serious bull market. So historically, what follows is the commodity bull market behind it. And there's a lot of demand, right? Like this, if get some peace in the Middle East, Russia settles with, so Russia and Ukraine, there's going to be a ton of rebuilding to. And then you've got India and you've got Eastern
Do you
Asia.
own GLD or any specific miners?
I just own GLD. Again, I
Okay.
don't know. Like, I'm not a gold expert, so I probably even own the wrong ETF. If you're going to do this, you talk to an advisor and who does this full time. I'm sure there's some better plays. Lewis here was said he owned Sprott, which is kind of like the same thing as trying to own Coinbase if you like crypto, right? Sprott's like a fund that's levered to
What was
gold.
the symbol?
I
Is that
don't know.
like the
Honestly, I don't know. It's SPOROTT.
SPR?
They're like
Okay.
I think, kind of a gold
It's like
management.
the physical gold or
No, they're like a T Rowe price of gold, Sprott. So all their products are like gold
oh,
products.
okay.
As assets flow in, they
Okay,
get
they have multiple, but
yeah,
this one is a physical gold.
yeah. But
Sprott
they have like
physical.
their whole firm. I think you can buy the stock. They're a public company, so you just buy. So again, I don't know the gold space. So I'm not even doing the research here. But if gold 10x is GLD will do fine. I think ONCE is a VanEck ETF ounce.
Which one?
ONCE.
ONCE? No.
Maybe not ounce. I don't know what their ETF is,
Okay.
but I'll share some next week. But I think there you've got to talk. You specifically got to do a little work and figure out which ones have the best
What
risk.
about silver? Since it seems to be setting up as
Mostly
well.
silver, has no value, like from what my discussions are, right? Like it's only mined inside gold. It's not like mines are set up to just do silver, right? It's a fraction of what happens at a gold mining. Silver does better than gold percentage wise because it's thin,
It's
right?
more volatile, yeah.
Yeah. So I have no insight there other than silver will do better than gold or if we go into a bull market. And again, the guy I follow is Lewis at he doesn't really tweet that much, but I've had him on my podcast a few times. So he's been doing this for 40 years, right? And at T. Rowe Price and now at his own wealth management firm. So he's my go-to. So that's why I'm out visiting him. So anyways, there's a lot going on. You know, there's there's growth stocks are doing well and commodity stocks are doing well. It's quite confusing.
Yeah.
Um,
Considering all the headlines, the market is holding incredibly well.
well, not just holding, it's going up.
Yeah, it's going up. Yeah. The dips are, I mean, there's still some shakeouts, gaps are getting faded. We would see a gap up getting faded, a gap down getting faded. But for the most part, there's an uptrend and dips are getting bought.
Yeah, I mean, what we say on Trends with Friends is the shit show for the bears. Like you're standing there alone, right? Like AI, I get it. It's overvalued and you can sound very smart talking about why AI is in a bubble, but you're gonna go broke trying to figure out how to make money off that, right? Until the money stops flowing into it. right? Like, he's on TV every day, Jensen Huang, right? He's got a story to tell. He's not, he's becoming a bit of a promotional guy. No
Yeah.
one knew who he was 3 years ago in mainstream media, and now he wears a leather jacket and is on TV every day. But at the same time, his business is really strong, right? There's infinite demand right now. Um, and OpenAI just raised $10 billion. So they're going to fund new projects. Eventually, you get a glut, I guess. But the way compute works, I mean, the way AI works is you constantly need more of it. Um, and unlike sand, which goes into semiconductors, it's expensive to to buy compute. Right? It's like a futures market at some level.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you just got to figure out who. There's going to be some new names, and there's going to be some Enrons in this space too,
I
Ivan.
mean, we already have them, like SMCI is down, like, let's
That's
see.
not an Enron. It's more, but
No,
it
no,
may.
no, no, but down
No, there is
66%.
going to be some Enrons, right? The
Yeah.
people that like are making markets in GPUs, and you don't really understand what they're doing, and it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be their hedge fund guys versus product people. So I don't know. That's what's going to happen. There's so much money flowing into AI. So I think you got to go with the money flows. So
Okay.
anyway, all right, everybody,
All
have a
right,
great.
Howard. Thank you.